And I do believe we are rolling once again with Friar Otto's Back Porch. Saturday evening, riverwestradio.com from 10 to 11. So, give me a moment to get organized and begin in earnest to see what Spirit has in store for us this evening. That's what I always like to keep in mind. What does Spirit have in store for us this evening? Some people say God is their co-pilot. I prefer to be God's co-pilot.
Just get a little closer to the mic or turn it up just a little bit.
The microphones?
Yeah, just a tiny bit.
That would be this red one here?
I'm not exactly sure.
Okay, do you want to go back and listen and see if it's
Yeah,
loud enough and then tell me if it is?
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Because I'll move it up just a little bit. How's that? How's that, Sarah Lou? Is that good now?
Hold on 1 second. Yeah. Yep, good.
That's all right there?
You're good.
Okay. And still we're okay now? Because I'm back a little bit further from the microphone.
Oh yeah, no, you're good. You're good. It sounds loud enough now.
Okay, all right. Oh, no problem at all, Sarah Lou. I need that kind of feedback, Know what's going on out there. So, like I say, it's once again riverwestradio.com coming out of the video store at 824 East Center Street, where the station is centered, and there are many numerous folks that are a good number of folks, I should say, that do shows of some sort or another. So I think they start going kind of in the middle of the afternoon, so you can always catch them live. But you got to remember that shows are also archived, and so if you want to search through the archives and hear past shows of any of the shows, you may do so, or one may do so. Well, for those of you that are first-time listeners, you may not know that Friar Otto is attached to Herr Zabowitz's Kleine Kirche. Now that Herr Zabowitz is more powerful in spirit than he ever was in the flesh, he guides me from the other side in our work we commenced or continued. Oh, mainly, basically, just bear witness to spirit. Seeing as our big brother maintained that he couldn't do anything, it was all the action of spirit. How many times did he say spirit doeth the work? Or they say he said. I never heard it myself. I'm just taking it on somebody else's word. bus will come by and pick me up. Well, I gotta keep myself occupied while I'm sitting here waiting anyways. So I kind of like to hear the sound of a guitar. So this be Friar Otto's back porch, and don't expect some glossy mainstream show band act. That's why this is Friar Otto's back porch. So I just sit here like I'm at home doing what I do. Yeah, here's Abowitz's Kleine Kirche. We figured the music was a little bit more than entertainment, and even a little bit more than art. for the return of the prodigal son. Can always turn back and decide to go right on home. We don't have to be living in a foreign land and not being treated as we really should be or could be. All we got to do is go home. Yeah, being a friar, the way I am, I'm walking that thin line between light and dark. Well, with mentors like Friar John and Friar Tuck and Guido Sarducci. What can one expect? Music for an unwritten spaghetti western. Back in the days when they were considered the most violent movies out. Pardon me for a moment. Need to pause here for just a moment for refreshment. Take down one of my edge of one of my nails that I forgot to get at. Gotta get things just right, you know. Be like a cat. Oh, I am cat boy and I got a cat girl, I tell you. She's a top paw mouser. So, what shall we get into next? Here, sitting around the back porch, kind of watching things go by here on Center Street. Wonder if you guys can hear the traffic going by. It's like a John Cage moment. He would revel in this, of course, at least to a degree. I may be too structured for even for him. This one here be Blood in the Mud. As in the blood in the mud of that Southeast Asian country that's war games were 30, 40 years old by now. Yeah, all the young fellas that dreams were shattered as they left their blood in the mud. Vietnam. Or they witnessed and survived things of that nature. Well, they were raised, most of them, in the 50s. Things were a little bit different back then than they are today, I'll tell you that. Of course, many people can tell you that. Why, you couldn't buy hardly nothing on Sunday, excuse me. You better make sure you got all the milk and beer and cigarettes and whatever else you needed. Get you through till Monday. Or know somebody that had them. No all-night TV stations. At least not around here. I can't say what was going on in New York. Yeah, but they wasn't the only young guys that left their blood in the mud of Vietnam. Sometimes I wonder how many Vietnamese guys wake up screaming in the night still. Memories of carpet bombings, napalm strikes from the receiving end. How many young Vietnamese boys gave their lives kicking out the fucking American bastards? They had the guts to go up against one of the greatest superpowers the world has ever seen. And the only way they won was through persistence. Until the war became politically unpopular in this country, and the big money interests couldn't talk no more. I wonder if they would have had binding referendums, national referendums, to decide such questions about whether a country should go to war or not. I wonder if that would have happened. Wouldn't it be nice if all the government actions had to be authorized or given the stamp of approval through national referendums, binding by the people of this country? Before war could be made, budgets passed, foreign policy have to put to a vote the American people. I mean, that's what the country's really about, isn't it? Or is it the perpetuation of some government? Or is it evaluation of the people for the sake of the people, not for the sake of their government. Government for the sake of the people, not people for the sake of the government. Why our forefathers could never have dreamed of the electronic age and the miracle of electronic balloting as exemplified by American Idol and some other shows that take referendums. So it is entirely possible, and seeing as our forefathers could not have foreseen this, there is no reason why government cannot be revolutionized at this point and this new feature added. Oh, those dudes in Washington do what they still want to do before they can ever lay any more stuff on us. They got to ask us whether we want it or not. Because we all know that as soon as our representatives gets to Washington, things somehow changes. And they're not quite the same guys that was out there on the campaign trail. Why, they get starstruck by being in the political big time in Washington, and it goes to their heads, and my gosh, it would go to anybody's head being in a position like that. So you can't fault them for what happens to them. It's just human nature. Man alive, too many cooks we know spoils the broth. As they all know, power does corrupt. It's just human nature. Since mankind ain't ready to act from divine nature, we guess somehow got to do the best we can of dealing with it on this level. Why, I see there's a telephone number up here on the grid, 935-2951. Sarah Lou, do you know if this telephone does work?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
People can totally
yeah,
call
yeah.
into
If
your show.
anybody wants to call in and make a comment, I'd be more than happy to talk to anybody.
Well,
You know.
There's like, it doesn't ring, it just lights up, and
Oh,
then
it lights up. Oh, I wouldn't notice that.
Well, yeah, and then because it doesn't make a sound, and then there's a way to answer it that I honestly don't know how.
Don't you just pick up the headset and go on with the
Yeah,
headset?
I think so, or something to get it. There's a way to get it on the radio or something. I'm not exactly sure.
Oh, it's not on the radio otherwise?
Or yeah, but I think there's or it's on the radio, but I think there's a way to so like it just goes automatically to the stuff and you can hear it in the headphones or something.
Oh.
I'm probably sounding confusing.
Well, I don't know. A way you can monitor it.
Yeah.
But we won't mess around with it. Nobody will call it.
No,
But people can
not
always
here
stop
right
by at the
now.
video store too, you know. People do come in here and shop. There's some people selecting videos right now. Stay open till 11 o'clock. And they have a very interesting collection from what I've seen so far. So the radio station comes out of this store right here in the storefront. And I can't speak for anybody else, but if folks want to come in and sit down and talk, or even bring in their instruments and play on Fraiar Otto's back porch, they're more than welcome. chemistry doesn't always work, you know. Well, I brought this amplifier along. I guess I better plug it in right away and see how this is gonna make things go. Huh? So, it's an interesting change of pace. Set. I don't know if that was. Boom beep 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 boom 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 beep bum beep boom bam bim ba da bam bum ba dum bim ba ba dee ba da ba bum biddy ba ba dee boom 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 ba dum beep ba ba boom beep ba beep ba da ba dum boom 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 beep ba boom ba da boom ba beep ba ba dee boom. I'm the Lord thy God. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. I'm the Lord thy God. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. What is this God I am? Yeah, the God who calls himself I am. His name is I am. What is this God I am? God am I God I am, God am God I God am I. I turn those three words round and round and round and round and round. And what is this I am that I call me to that I am that I call God? I sometimes get so confused why it like to drive me crazy. Bottom baby mama bum bottom baby bum baby bum bottom baby ba do ba do bum 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 baby hop bum 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 dee doo boom bum baby bum dee doo bum 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 hop that bum 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 Now, excuse me, but Peter right here is able to plan a cure tries to be the music ministers. I didn't have too much to do with the words. I go off on a tangent sometimes and start speaking in tongues, so to speak. Bottom baby baby bottom. I'm the light that shines within all men that come into this world. Yeah, there's light inside each and every one of us. The light of the God I am. What is this light I am? Light of my light I am, light I am, light I am, light I am. I sometimes get so confused. Turning around and round 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 and me. I like to drive me crazy. Franz Schubert, I understand now. I'm the truth, I'm the way. No man comes on to the Father but through me. What is the truth I am? Truth am I truth I am truth I truth am. I think I've finally done worked myself over the edge, I've finally done gone crazy. Oh, Mother Teresa, I understand. Well, I guess we got about 5 minutes. Before we'll be shutting things down here at riverwestradio.com. But body has a mind too. I don't know how many people are listening out there. I know I have friends that say they will listen, but I don't really know if they do or not. I have no way of knowing. I guess I shouldn't even give it a thought. But you can catch me on Thursday evenings over at the Bremen Cafe. I usually don't get there till kind of late. I'm usually there till, at least 1:30, quarter to 2, 2 o'clock. I don't get there till like 10 or 11. So if you have a mind to stop on by and give me a piece of your mind, that would be most welcome. No matter what kind of peace of mind you had. Yeah, this one here be the branch and the vine, you know, is their big brother was fond of speaking in parables, and vineyards came up in his parables more than once, I do believe. Vineyards and grapes and things of that nature. Yeah, he say he was the vine and we be the branches. I used to think that was a one-way street. We needed him, of course. It was obvious. Then when you start to realize that on the branches were the leaves, and the leaves is the only thing that can make food for the whole new organism, and on the branches is where the fruit and the grapes is, you know. Start to see that it's kind of maybe a two-way street, that my big brother, he needs us as much as we need him. Well, maybe we need him a little bit more than he needs us. Because if we don't play our cards right, we don't survive the pruning in the vineyard. I haven't spoken of that this evening. But you gotta remember that your old dad, once in a while, he comes through the vineyard pruning, taking out the dead and dying unproductive vines, branches on the vines. Yeah, with the life of the vines and the life of the branch, the life is well, I think that's about all for this evening. We're out at backporch on ottsradio.com for Saturday. I do believe it's July 28th. Approximately 11 p.m.
Another round is a big pound from the fifth to the lounge. Smoking on that loud, seeing spot the cow, Milwaukee best in the house.
I'm not sure.